Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special meeting of council for Thursday, August 20th. Call the meeting to order. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, motion to accept the agenda. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda of the special meeting of council on Thursday, August the 20th, 2026.
Okay, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So I would note one change to the agenda this evening. So as referenced in the report in the agenda package for the Dunvegan Community Hall floor replacement and structural rehabilitation. So that report has been replaced with the one on your desk this evening. So basically it's been updated to note the results of the tender which closed yesterday and the emergency nature of the work. So that report has changed. All else remains the same.
Okay, thank you. So as amended?
As amended?
Yep. Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to staff reports, Community Services Department CS 2026-23, application to the Community Sports and Recreation Infrastructure Fund. Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report CS 2026-23, application to the Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund. And that Council provide direction to staff to submit an application to the provincial government's Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund for the Maxville District Sports Complex slab replacement project. Council supports the Township's commitment to provide the municipal contribution and any project costs not covered through grant funding, with funding considerations and project authorization to be brought forward for Council consideration at a future meeting.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This week, the provincial government announced the launch of their Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund, in which they seek to support funding projects in a cost-sharing capacity at 50% that look to repair, rehabilitate, or upgrade or build sport and recreation facilities. Stream 1 is intended to support extending the lifespan of an existing facility, as well as improving accessibility and community access to recreation infrastructure. So as such, the scope of this grant funding opportunity aligns well with the Maxville slab project that Council is very familiar with. We did already submit our application for the federal grant, Build Stronger Communities funding, in which we would be eligible to stack this grant if successful. So therefore, this is another funding opportunity to potentially fund up to 50% of eligible project costs to a maximum of $1 million. As Council is aware, we've already approved $260,000 being moved into reserves for this project. So as such, we're seeking Council's support with direction to apply for this funding opportunity as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Remind me, what did we apply for dollar value-wise for the feds?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, so that funding opportunity was similar, where it's eligible for a maximum of up to $1 million, once again a 50% cost share amount.
Okay.
So as such, the total cost of the project based on recent estimates was $1.9 million to have the entire project completed. So as such, there's potential for up to 50% of the cost to be covered through federal grant if successful, as well with up to 50% through the provincial grant if successful as well.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Wouldn't it be? Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Thank you. Moving on to CS 2026-24, Dunvegan Community Hall floor replacement and structure rehabilitation. Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move on myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives report CS 2026-24 regarding tender number CS 2026-02 for the floor structure replacement project, and that Council directs staff to meet with the sole bidder and the project engineer to explore opportunities to reduce the project costs and bring the project budget closer to the engineer's estimated construction cost of approximately $200,000. And that council delegate authority to the clerk to finalize negotiations and award tender to CS 2026-02 during the lame duck period, provided that the total cost does not exceed an approved budget of $250,000 plus applicable HST, and that the award is consistent with the town's procurement policy, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute all agreements and associated documents required for completion of the project, and that should project costs not be reduced to a level acceptable to the township, staff report back for further direction regarding the tender, including consideration of re-tendering the project.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, before I hand it over to Stephanie, just a couple things to note. As I touched on earlier, the tender closed yesterday. The tender came in slightly over our budget. We did meet with the engineer today, and we did walk through the scope of work very closely with them, and basically what was indicated was the pricing received was generally representative of the price that we got and the scope of work. The work is complicated. The floor structure needs to be entirely removed, and as you can imagine, when you remove the floor structure, there's wall partitions, there's mechanical, electrical work that all gets impacted, so it all adds up very quickly. So essentially the floor needs to come out, and then the floor structure beneath it repaired, so that means chipping away bad concrete on the foundation, repairing that, installing new wood or new joists and beams beneath the floor, reinstalling the floor, and then reconnecting all the mechanical, electrical, and refinishing. So we did meet with them to possibly explore ways that we could get the cost lower. Basically, what we had come up with was our best approach would be to meet with the contractor and see what opportunities there might be for project savings. They did feel we did receive a competitive bid for the project, so our best bet is to work with the contractor that we have. The contract allows direct negotiations with the contractor, so we're able to do that. The one complication, or a couple complications that we have, are the emergency nature of the work. Obviously, there's an impact to the operation of the facility that we need to address ASAP, as well as the complications associated with the lame duck status of Councill. So what we are requesting this evening, and it would be really no different than if we didn't receive the award results yesterday, or the tender results yesterday, is we're requesting approval of a budget for the project, so assigning a budget for the project, as well as delegating authority to the clerk to negotiate and sign the contract, which is normal process, as well as the ability for some variance in the scope of work under the normal lame duck authority for the clerk. So basically, that's the overview of it. It's we'd all love to see the work come in under budget. However, with I would say scope of works of this nature, it is often difficult to get it under budget when the work is of a certain value where you require a commercial contractor to do the work. However, there's only a select few in the field. We're in the middle of summer. A lot of them already have work planned and obligations that they already need to finish. Additionally, it's an older building, and there's associated risk with that. You open up a wall, and you might not find what you expect to find. Stuff may not be up to code. All those factors get incorporated into a bid like this. So, in meeting with the engineers, I think we're confident that we received the competitive price, and there may not be benefit to canceling and retendering, other than potentially delaying the work. We don't see much benefit to that, or there's possibly increased risk associated with that. You might get there's no guarantee you would get a better price if you retendered it. Their recommendation would be to work with the contractor, and after we went through it in detail, that is our recommendation as well, that we meet with the contractor, see what opportunities there are for potential trimming of the project scope, areas where we can modify it, and then proceed from there. The other element of the report as well, and Stephanie can highlight it as well, is how much, or the funding breakdown associated with the project. So how much should the township contribute to the project, and how much should we expect the Recreation Committee? So the recommendation that's before council this evening is that we assign $50,000 for the Recreation Committee to commit to the project over time. Obviously, they can't come up with that immediately. The township would have to contribute that amount, and it would be left up to the association to determine whether or not they wish to use their capital allocation every year till they pay that off, whether they wish to combine it with fundraising. We would provide that flexibility for them so that they have time to determine how best they would like to tackle that amount. With that, I know I probably took a lot of the commentary away, but Stephanie, if you have anything else you wish to add.
No, thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, CAO Falthrop has summarized really the bulk of the report. I will just make mention as well, we've been consulting with the Dunvegan Recreation Association throughout this process, and they've been very supportive of working with us. One of the key pieces for them is the importance of maintaining and preserving the existing stage, and that goes along with the character and history associated to the Dunvegan Hall. So they've been vocal about that, which we've also incorporated into the tender process. They've noted their concerns with limited ability to fundraise or not unknowing of what they're capable of in terms of fundraising for a project of this scope, but nonetheless have committed to running various fundraising initiatives and are supportive of having their MRAC funds allocated as a method of replenishing any reserves that are tapped into as a result of this project. So overall, we're hopeful to be able to come to a resolution and hopefully work with the contractor per council's approval to see if we can at least see any cost savings and able to move forward with this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just wondering what if we were to talk about retendering, which I know you just said you don't, the EVB doesn't recommend, but if we were to look at delaying it, what is the capacity that hall can hold at the moment? Will it just shut down the hall for an extended period of time and the Rec Association wouldn't have any facility at all, or can they use it somewhat?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, so EVB Engineering, through their initial structural review of the building, had determined, the project needing to occur within the next year as being our timeline to play with. That being said, they did not identify any specific capacity limits associated with the floor structure as is. Out of an abundance of caution, the Dunvegan Recreation Association, in consultation with the township, has limited the capacity to 1/3, simply to avoid putting any unnecessary pressure on the existing structure in place. So for that reason, I would imagine that if we were to delay the project, we're still on a somewhat quick timeline of needing to complete it within 1 year from the time that this kind of investigative process began, which would have been earlier this spring. So that's part of our reason for wanting to be able to push ahead with the project as soon as possible in consideration of the safety and risk associated with the building.
Understood, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Mr. Mayor, to continue with timelines, either of you, if we say yes to this and give you authority to try and negotiate them down, what's the expected timeline in terms of completion of this?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, end of the year, January 1st, that is the current deadline.
Okay.
Within the contract. Obviously, if we don't award and the negotiations continue, they get a kind of corresponding extension associated with that, but I would say the timeline would be for official handover would probably be end of January for a final completion and walking away from site.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Does this estimate include replacing all electrical outlets, electricity, or no?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so it would include basically reconnecting what is there. The trouble with it is if there's anything found to not be meet code, there
Okay.
could be risks associated with that, which is, I would say, is normal for any building of this vintage. You unfortunately can't open every wall before you start work, and there's a risk factor that gets included.
So, based on this quote too, which is very close to the estimate that we had, but maybe if we put a condition like when we enter in discussion with a union or something, we put a cap, like if we put, council would say, okay, you can go ahead, but up to total kind of thing, you know what I
That's what
mean?
we're giving it, though. We're giving it a total of, we're to the max at 200,000.
Okay.
That's what
But
the-
no, because now it's over at 244, but then this electrical, that, which is probably minimum 25, and then another, the furnace,
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so what we're seeking is approval of the original budget, which was 200,000,
Okay.
plus the normal lame duck approval of an additional 50,000, which the project would fall within that budget.
Okay.
We're gonna proceed to negotiate the electrical, mechanical, those elements are included in that price. And so, but we're still gonna negotiate with the contractor to see if there's
Okay.
areas where we could potentially lower that price to get it closer to the 200,000 that we're,
Okay.
all trying to
so 200
work
from the
towards.
township, 50,000 from the Dunvegan Recreation.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so it would be whatever the total is, less 50,000 from the
Which are-
Recreation Association, which would be
Recreate the
committed.
township. Okay,
Correct.
Perfect, yeah. And just to note that we did invest and we got a big grant, I think, for the entrance to be accessible. It was all renovated not too long ago, which was a big amount of money too, so we can't really let the floor stop the money invested there at the time.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, correct. It's, certainly, I guess a beacon of the community and of the area. It's well utilized, and as Ms. McCray noted, they're unable to hold large events. They're still holding small gatherings, but they're not able to hold weddings, large gatherings. So until this is addressed, there's a big impact.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Martin.
And just to be clear for the public, this is a building that we own, like the township owns this building, so it's our responsibility to fix it.
That's correct. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? The motion is carried. There are none opposed. Okay, moving on to CS 2026-25, Maxville Wayfinding Sign, Funding and Update. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report number CS 2026-25, Maxville Wayfinding Sign / Funding and Update, and that Council approve the proposed draft design concept of the Maxville sign project to serve as the basis for design and implementation, subject to any required revisions, and that the Council approves the use of funds for the Maxville Sports Complex operating budget as required to fully fund and offset the remaining costs associated with the Maxville Wayfinding Sign project.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this report is to provide council with a bit of an update on what's transpired since concept design was previously submitted to council for their consideration. So previously, we had notified council that we had submitted an application to the Rural Ontario Development Fund seeking a funding opportunity to help offset costs associated to this project. Unfortunately, we were recently advised that we were unsuccessful with the funding opportunity. But nonetheless, we have received updated pricing from the sign vendor, which is quoted in the amount of $83,959, including HST. Therefore, after applying the township's eligible HST rebate, the estimated project cost is approximately $75,607. With that said, the total contributions at this time, in addition to the township's previous commitment of $15,000 from all of the contributing partners, is $54,400, which brings the total available funds for this project to $69,400, leaving an approximate shortfall of $6,200 and change. So to address this gap, staff are proposing that we offset funds through the Maxwell Sports Complex operating budget. We do have adequate funds available at this time, that it would not limit or take away from any other elements of the facility. So therefore, we would feel comfortable allocating the $6,207.68 towards this project in order to ensure that all costs are covered in order to proceed forward with this initiative, which will bring the township's total contribution to $21,207.68. As you'll see in your packages, we've presented an updated concept in consultation with the partners involved on this project. And so as such, we're hopeful that we will be able to proceed forward, and in consultation with the signed vendor, provided we receive the required approvals this evening, we'll be able to move ahead with development and installation later this fall.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Great. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you to you and to Michael for the long hours you've put on getting this design finalized and the funding and all the rest of it. I know it's not easy when you're dealing with a whole bunch of different partners to get everyone on the same page, and you managed it well, and it's a beautiful design, so kudos to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have trouble with the logic of taking money out of the operating budget for the arena that, annually loses hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're going to put it on their budget to take money away from that even. So I just don't understand the logic of that.
So,
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I guess what I would comment is that it's a surplus within the operating budget that we expect to be able to reallocate. It would go back to the bottom line otherwise, but at the end of the day, I guess there is a variance that the township would need to fund one way or the other. This is one solution that we've proposed to fund it. If council wishes to fund it in a different manner, that remains open to council. We've identified a savings that we think we could utilize. Really, that's the basis of it.
go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. Thank you. Agreed. Looks good. Just to confirm, when we say this is all in, all done, so we're talking like bases, electrical, everything we need, all there, everything.
Yeah, correct. Through you, Mr. Mayor, the quote is all inclusive. Going forward, ongoing operating costs would be no different than hydro for lighting. Staff will have an involvement in maintaining and updating the sign and replacing the advertisements that take place on it. But again, as discussed previously with council, there remains an opportunity to incur some revenue from ads in the future once we get it up and running. So there will be an opportunity to replenish some of those funds going forward.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead.
I know the LED sign that's going to be rolling is obviously is going to be lit. Is there other lighting, like for the sign itself?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I believe we did not proceed with the push-through lighting in the background of the names of, like, for example, the Maximum District Sports Complex, because the light or illumination from the LED board will be quite sufficient to illuminate those pieces. I believe the existing sign as well may have some lighting already beneath the sign, so we also have the option of illuminating from the ground upwards if we determine the need to have more of an illumination for it.
Okay, because goose head or goose lighting is always a nice option. Anyway, I guess you can add that if necessary.
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. There is one opposed. Okay. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Moving on to Treasury Department, TR 2026-09, Fire Department Pickup Truck Borrowing Bylaw 44-2026. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2026-09, Fire Department Pickup Truck Borrowing Bylaw 44-2026. and that bylaw 40-2026 being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of funds for financing of capital, fire department pickup truck, be read a first, second, and third time and adopted in open council this 20th day of August 2026.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Zoe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As part of the 2025 budget, Council approved the purchase of a pickup truck outfitted for emergency response for the fire department. The financing of this capital item was delayed as the outfitting was unable to be completed in 2025. The final invoices were received for payment this week, and the purchase is now finalized. The total price of the pickup truck and equipment was $156,995 plus HST. After the HST rebate, the township will need to borrow $160,000 to finance this item. Interest rates were obtained from the Royal Bank of Canada. Rates for a 3-year and a 5-year term were considered. Staff recommend that council approve the financing for a 3-year term at 4.41%. At this rate, monthly payments will be approximately $1,290 per month. This amount has already been included in the 2026 budget and will continue to be included until full repayment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Chief, any comments?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Yes, this was a 2025, as the treasurer indicated, this was a 2025 issue replacement that was set to be replaced in 2025. The vehicle, I could speak to this vehicle in terms of this was actually, we reallocated many different vehicles in terms of trying to find some cost savings within the fire department, which we did. So within that one station, this is actually replacing a vehicle that was expected to cost $600,000. So we were able to actually change our ways and how we're doing operating. And we actually, as a department, built this vehicle where we single sourced through Canoe, various different items, purchased the vehicle. We did all basically the contracting for it. So yes, we did come under budget it was originally budgeted for 160. So very pleased in the outcome of the vehicle. It continues to meet the needs of the department and will for the next 20 years. So very successful, and the vehicle is now in service.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Matt, where's the vehicle located? Is it part of Alexandria or?
So the vehicle is currently, through you, Mr. Mayor, is currently stationed in Maxville, Station 3. This vehicle supports, previously there was a pickup that pulled our UTV for forest firefighting and rescues and so forth. So this vehicle is now integrated. So it replaces 2 vehicles. So the rescue is combined. So we got rid of one pickup truck and rescue, combined it into one. Now this vehicle is able to do the 2 roles. So, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments further? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. TP 2026-10, self-contained breathing apparatuses, approving bylaw 45-2026. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2026-10, self-contained breathing apparatuses borrowing bylaw 45-2026, and that bylaw 45-2026 being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of funds for financing of capital self-contained breathing apparatuses be read first, second, and third time and adopted in open council this 20th day of August 2026.
Okay, thank you. Zoe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Similar to the last report, Council authorized the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatuses, SCBAs, to replace the failing units. The total purchase price was $600,951 before HST. The previous financing ended partway through 2025, and as such, the difference of $20,000 was transferred into reserves at year end in 2025. After the $20,000 contribution from reserves and the applicable HST rebate, the township will need to borrow $590,000 to finance this capital item. Staff recommend that council approve the financing for a 3-year term at 4.43%. At a rate of 4.43% monthly, monthly payments will be approximately $4,416. This amount has also been included in the 2026 budget and will continue to be included until full repayment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief, you want to speak to this one too, just to give a little background on it?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you. As our SCBA's were due for replacement, Council brought forward, the fire department brought forward a report to indicate our options in purchasing. We went through a process of going through Canoe, whereas we received a very favorable tender from Drager. So at this point, we just recently received them. We've gone through training. All our members are fully operational. I'm pleased to say that Monday we're going to be putting these new self-contained breathing apparatuses into service. So as Council is aware, these apparatuses is for a 15-year lifespan. So this is how long they were required to keep these apparatuses in place. So and just so everyone is aware, self-contained breathing apparatuses are utilized by firefighters. It's their breathing apparatus. So this is how we operate in terms of entering in unsafe conditions for a multitude of incidents, fires, hazardous materials, multitude of various different incidents. So it is what allows us to do our job within the fire service. So.
Thank you very much. I'll just add that I did see some comments from some of the firefighters after the training with it that they're very pleased, quite lightweight, and they're pleased to have them in the repertoire. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Further questions? Matt, were bottles included in that?
Yep.
So
yes.
Have we gotten rid of all the old bottles, or were?
Yeah, correct. So we did, it was solely procured through Drager, where 100 bottles were purchased. As previously brought to Council, we previously did have 150 bottles. The operations have changed in terms of how we were modeled when the previous SCBAs were purchased. We were very siloed in terms of 3 different stations, so we did require more, so there was less integration. So at this point, I believe we're going to be very successful in terms of just reducing down to 100, given the fact of that we're one department. So I don't foresee any requirement to increase. Should we see any increase, I'll bring a report forward to Council, but we're definitely going to see, and we have the ability to replenish the air within them. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? The motion is carried. There are none opposed. Thank you, Zoe. Moving on to Fire Department FT 2026-08, establishing and regulating fire department bylaw. Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council Township of North Glengarry receive staff report number FT 2026-08, establishing and regulating fire department bylaw, and that Council adopts bylaw number 46-2026, being a bylaw to establish and regulate the North Glengarry Fire Department, and to repeal bylaw number 54-2021. Further, that bylaw number 46-2026 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council on August 20th, 2026.
Thank you, Councillor. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Fire Protection and Prevention Act requires every municipality to establish a program that includes public education with respect to fire safety, including certain components of fire prevention, and to provide other fire protection services as determined and necessary based on our circumstances and needs. Council establishes these levels of service provided by our municipality. The establishing and regulating bylaw is the principal governance document used to define the organization, authority, approved services, and operating framework of the North Glengarry Fire Department. The current establishing and regulating bylaw 54-2021 was adopted in December 2021. Since that time, the department's organizational structure, staffing model, training and certification environment, medical response capabilities, member development programs have continued to evolve. A comprehensive review was therefore completed to ensure that the bylaw accurately reflects the department's current planned operations. The proposed bylaw maintains Council's authority to determine the level of fire protection and updates the department's framework. Some of the principal changes included adding a deputy fire chief to the organizational structure, establishing a junior fire program for our youth within township between the ages of 14 and 17, establishing a volunteer medical first responder program, modernizing our current auxiliary member provisions, as well as updating our organizational chart, as well as all the main updating the legislative and technical references, including the deployment of terminologies for NFPA standards, as well as including some of the, as council is aware, some of the changes from the automatic aid agreements, where some of those services are provided through automatic aids, and so forth. Some of the schedules that apply. Schedule A is outlines in the report as the organizational chart. Schedule B is all the various different services that are provided by the fire service. Schedule C is basically the terms and conditions of the employment of all our members. And Schedule D is the fire prevention policy. The adoption of this bylaw will provide a clear authority in the implementation, revise our organizational structure and our volunteer programs. The fire chief will remain responsible for the establishing operational policies, procedures, and training requirements and member authorizations. In terms of financial obligations, there's none that's required based on this bylaw, other than the normal operational outlines that's on every budget year. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Councilor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Matt, the junior firefighter program, how are you advertising that? Are you going to the schools to do that, or is that the plan?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. This is a new program that we want to adopt in terms of including some of our youth within the fire service. There is a high interest of youth within the community. So it's a program that we want to establish. I have a lot of interest from our members to take part in it. This is something that that's gonna potentially create additional members as the years come forward. The bylaw actually establishes the program of what's required, outlines they do have to maintain good average in school, so it allows them to have a good balance and look up to something within the community. They'll be exposed to various different trainings programs, and hopefully once they hit the age of 18, they can then be turned into volunteer firefighters within the community. So they will not be, junior firefighters are not utilized for any hazardous type of environments whatsoever, or responding to calls. This is solely a program to have interest of youth and being involved within the community. So they could assist in fire prevention activities, door-to-door, smoke detector activities. So something that could really benefit our fire prevention program. So
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, great program. Any further questions? Go ahead, Councilor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to follow up on that one, awesome idea for the junior program, and ideally sort of reintroduce the idea of volunteerism and bring that back into sort of that age group. Question about the volunteer medical first responders. Is this like an entire new group of people, or is this existing that would have that designation?
yeah, so through you, Mr. Mayor, this is actually an exciting program that I've been looking at in terms of trying to implement. And this is as a result of, obviously, council's aware of the low numbers that, in terms of recruitment and our response times throughout the day. With the certification that was brought forward by Ontario, and in terms of certification of our firefighters, this is the model and program that we're going to be trying out in terms of, there may be members within the community that have the ability to be medical first responders, but don't have the interest in being firefighters. So this is where we could attract potential additional volunteers, where they can respond to medical emergencies, where there's no certification required for firefighting. There's a certification requirement for the medical first responders, but it has nothing to do with the regulation that outlines firefighter certification. So We're not trying to divert any of the certifications that's required by the province. This has been brought forward to the province in terms of adopting this and making sure that the establishing regulating bylaw outlines the requirements. They are still volunteer firefighters, but the task that they will be doing is solely medical first responders, as well as they're going to be able to provide support to our members during structure fires in that capacity of rehabilitation, monitoring of firefighters' health and safety, where sometimes you don't always have the availability of paramedics, or that they're taken away from other calls of service that may be potentially more important. So as North Glengarry, we'll be able to provide that, and then it therefore creates, the ambulance that's available to the community versus being sitting at a structure fire for potentially 3 hours. So this is a great program, I think, that we'll bring forward. I hope it's positive, and we may, we'll have a recruitment based on it, and hopefully it becomes, and we have an interest all throughout North Glengarry. So.
This is awesome. I like the idea, and you and I have talked about some of the medical response calls before, and also the restriction on it as far as non-transport and definitely not paramedic. But yeah, this is, like you say, there may be some people out there that have the qualifications already that might be interested, that don't have an interest in doing the full fire thing. So yeah, I like it. Thank you. Be very interested to see it develop.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Thank you, Matt. Public Works Department, PW 2026-14, Bishop Water Quantity Increase. Councilor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move by myself, seconded by Councillor Madden. The Council of the Township of North Glengarry received staff report PW 2026-14 Bishop Water Quantity Increase, and that the Council authorizes a further extension of the existing contract with Bishop Water, Inc. under contract PW 2023-20, extension PW PO 1798 for the additional removal, dewatering, containment of approximately 650 bone-dry metric tons of sludge from the remaining dredging area within Lagoon Cell C at the Alexandria Lagoons in the amount of $464,445.34 plus HST as a single source purchase in accordance with section 21-1B of the Township's Procurement Policy Bylaw 18/2023. And that the mayor and CAO are authorized to execute the necessary contract extension documents.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as you know, we're proceeding with the Alexandria Lagoon project. It's going very well, and if Council remembers, I think it was last year in 2025 that this was a major pre-work that needed to happen. We were bringing in sonar to try and figure out how much sludge that we had in the lagoon, and it's really something that we needed to get out of the way so construction could proceed. So far, we've removed all of the sludge from Cell B and Cell A from the areas that are needed to proceed with the construction. So we've got some valves that are going in between the lagoons, and there's also a bubble curtain in Cell A. So what's remaining is we've actually completed a lot of Cell C, but we need to complete the rest of it so that all of the equipment that goes into that lagoon specifically can all be installed without issue. That would avoid any change orders with the contractor who has the main contract. And this is a simple quantity increase. These quantities were estimated, based on the best information we had at the time, and we believe this will take us to completion. Something to note is there will still be sludge in Cell A and the aeration cell, but the sludge that's there is not going to interfere with the upgrade of the lagoon. So as we talked about in 2025, was a very large project to remove all this sludge, and that was why we wanted to push it so quickly. and it looks like that Bishop Water's been very good. We've been working with them for many years before we did the lagoon project, and this year they brought in 2 dredges and they've removed more sludge than they did in all years previously. So we're pretty excited to get this part of the project done, and so that at the moment it looks like everything's going to fall into place, and that the construction inside the lagoon cell C itself will be perfectly in timing with this sludge removal. Construction started on the building, so excavation started there, so it's all adding up, and this should complete Bishop's work. They'll mobilize off-site after they've completed the rest of this sludge removal.
Okay, thank you. And this extension falls under the funding from the provincial government?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Goodall.
If we didn't remove the extra material, how much would that shorten the life expectancy of the lagoon?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it wouldn't so much remove the life expectancy of the lagoon, but it would probably cause us extra cost when we're completing the upgrades to the lagoon. So there's the upgrade project that's happening, and then this is essentially making akin to clearing the vegetation before you build a building, but a lot more complicated because it's sludge. So this is, if we didn't remove it, it is possible that the equipment could still be installed, but it's not going to be ideal, and we could expose ourselves to change orders from the contractor, and at some point we need to remove this sludge anyway. In an ideal world, throughout the life of the lagoon, this would have happened a lot more regularly, but evolving methods change over the decades and decades that it's been open. So
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments? Councillor Madden.
Just to give people an idea, what's our expected total in bone dry metric tons by the time we're done all of this removal? Because this is a massive, massive undertaking. I just want people to understand how much is actually there.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So this would take us, we're at 2,300 bone dry metric tons was our expected for this year. This will increase it by another 650 bone dry metric tons, and we did, I think it was 1,200 the year before, so that would put us to over 3,000 dry metric tons. So, and we have included in this quantity increase is a 100 bone dry metric tons contingency, because we're getting into that, give or take 100, we think will be there for cell C, so it is enormous. You can actually, if anybody is interested, you can open up Google Maps and zoom in on the lagoon, and all of the black bags that you can see, that's our geofabrics that are dewatering, because the sludge gets pumped out. We dewater the water from the lagoons, and we pump that back into the lagoons so that we remove all the solids. So you can just see you can see it on the satellite image of how much material is actually coming out of there.
Thank you. So it actually puts us over 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000.
But this is, I think everybody needs to understand, this is literally, 50, 60 years worth of waste that is being removed because there was not, they're settling ponds, right? There was nothing in there in terms of breaking down any of that. This is all something that is historical that we've got to deal with right now so that we can move forward. So this is just one of those things that we got to swallow in.
You're very knowledgeable about poop, Councillor. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Thank you, Tim. No new business. Notice of motion. Next regular meeting of council, Monday, September 14th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. And I'll open it up for any questions for question period.
Would you permit a question because of nomination closing date being tomorrow? I had a question prior to
Sure.
Because it's not really, it's emergency services, but not really related to what's been done.
Sure, if you can just come to the podium.
Thank you. I just want to explain a little bit first why I'm asking.
If you can just put on the,
Okay, I've never asked
Oh.
a question before, so I don't know how to.
You're on, I think.
oh, there you are.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I just would like just a few minutes to explain why. I'll resume with my question, but, so I'm Julie Kasler, 56 years old. I've been driving since the age of 19, and I've never once been stopped for highway traffic violation until I put my name in for the position of deputy mayor. So I'm a Police Foundation's graduate, and I was pulled over, and I asked the officer for reasonable and probable grounds for pulling me over. And he quoted a Highway Traffic Act number, never told me what the violation actually was. So I knew right away something unlawful was going on. Obviously, he didn't know I was a Police Foundation's graduate. So I was threatened to be arrested. I was told I had to take a breathalyzer test. My window was going to be smashed, and that he wanted to do a mental health check on me. So the violation, which he quoted, I was never actually charged for. I was left with 3 charges in my hood of my car because I got scared and I closed my window and wouldn't cooperate with him. So my question is police coercion, or coercion in general, is a means by which nominees in the municipal elections coming up are going to eliminate or push some of us out, because there are several of us here? Is this something that you're aware of? And
I can say I'm absolutely not aware of that.
Okay.
And it's not
If you-
something that I've ever heard of in the past either. So, yeah, that's very unfortunate. But if you do have a complaint, I would definitely put you in touch with the chief inspector, and you could vent your complaint with him and discuss exactly what happened. And I think that's entirely within your rights to do. So I think
yes,
that's,
I would appreciate that, because if I'm not mistaken, our police chief is a Mr. Mark, an investigator from Toronto, Mr. Mark Hemrick or something.
Mark Hemrick is the
Yes, so he was not the one giving the orders to the officer. It was a female voice that was ordering every step of the way what to do.
But
And-
he's in charge of the overall
Yeah.
force, so he'll be able to find out exactly what's occurred and
Yeah.
what's going on. But I would definitely encourage you to, we can get you that contact
Yeah,
information.
I very much appreciate that,
Okay.
because I've been harassed since I put my name in last week. It's been nonstop. I mean, I've never even got stopped for a traffic ticket, or I'm a Police Foundation graduate. I obey the laws of the road. So
Okay.
that was my question. Are you aware of anyone else being coerced or any, no? Okay.
Not that I'm aware
Because
of.
going forward, I don't want to be pulled over, like, during the whole campaign, like if this is going to be a recurring,
Okay,
thank
I
you
will
very
get
much.
you
I would
that.
appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. No further questions or comments? Okay,
I noticed there was no national anthem at the opening, so I would like to
so
to know why there was no national anthem and give an opportunity to go back in time and play the national anthem.
So at special meetings, these are supposed to be, shorter meetings to just get through the business of the meeting. So we just do those at the regular meetings of council. That's
So
the standard
you are
that
not
we-
going to honor those who serve and protect.
We
your-
honor them
your
every time we
freedom of
do it,
choice.
and we're one of the few councils that do that. So, no, but we don't do it at our committee meetings, and we don't do it at special meetings of council. It's not on it's not on the agenda, but we typically always do it for our regular meetings of council.
Yes, and I would also like to have the OPP liaison officer number, because for the past 6 years, it's been assaulted and threatened by a police officer to burn my house, kill my wife and kids.
Yes,
And,
you've been here
we've
before
talked
with
about
that.
that a lot.
Yeah.
And the number, it's 10 millions a day, and it's been 2,271 days. So 22.7 billion that the OPP have been costing the taxpayer lately. And they need accountability. I haven't been asking for much. I died in service in 2016. I wake up in the hospital paralyzed. I make it back off of a wheelchair, relearn how to walk, just to get beat up and assaulted by police officer repetitively, being shackled, first injected chemical. That more than a couple days later, a couple years later, it's still hurting me. And all I've been asking, it's public accountability. So if the OPP cannot openly admit their wrongdoing,
That's why we
in
have
torturing people, they need
I'm gonna
accountability.
interrupt you. That's why we have the Ontario Ombudsman. That's who you put your complaints into. If you have any complaint about any member of council, if you have any complaints about the OPP or any public service, you go through the Ontario Ombudsman. They're online. You can call them and they will take your complaint.
They do not answer email, and they do not answer phone call when I leave message.
Okay.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we'll provide you the OPP contact, and we'll provide you the OPP contact, the OPP contact and the Ombudsman contact.
Thank you.
And get that to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you have a question?
Malians, what's going on with Malians? Are they on vacation or?
No, so we had an issue with one of the properties on Main Street, and we've gotten that straightened out now, and they should be on site Tuesday?
Monday, Tuesday. Okay, perfect.
Monday, Tuesday. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll call the meeting. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted everyone to have an opportunity to ask questions as well. So my question is in relation to the sign project. If I remember correctly, it was $69,000 that it would cost for
Correct.
the taxpayers?
It's not for the taxpayers, no. So, go ahead, you have the numbers.
Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you. So just to confirm, to go back to that report, the total cost for the sign, my apologies, Mr. Pierce, I have a few notes here. The total cost of the sign from the recent quote was $83,959. There's a total of $54,400 that's coming from contributors who have been on board with the project to help. So they're referenced in the report as well from the Maxwell and District Lions Club, the Kenyan Agriculture Society, Maxwell Firefighters Association, as well as the Glengarry Sports Hall of Fame. So those are the partners involved who are contributing that amount.
Okay. Is there any amount that's being funded by just the general fund, the taxpayers,
Yes.
the budget?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, there is a portion that's coming from the township that's been put into a reserve over the last few years towards this project in the amount of $15,000. So in addition to that, to cover the offset, as was approved tonight, there'll be a total of $6,207.68 that'll be coming out of the operating budget from the Maxwell Sports Complex, which would be out of the tax base.
Okay. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Prue, the Maxwell sign. Are there any other boroughs that are going to have the ability to get signs like this, or is it just Maxwell?
We haven't had any requests from other boroughs, and the Maxwell Highland Games is one of the biggest events in Canada. And so that we had a current sign there, and all the other partners came forth. The Lions Club, as she said, all these partners, and asked if we could change the sign and update it, and so that's what we're doing there.
So we're spending that money because it's a 3-day event per year, right?
No, we're not. We're spending it because it has wayfinding for 3 places. It also will have an LED sign that will have advertising for events that are happening in Maxwell, and also at the Maxwell Fairgrounds.
Does Alexandria have a sign like that?
No, they do not.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your sarcasm. All right. All those in, we will, I believe that's it. We must have a confirming bylaw. Got it? Councillor, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry adopts bylaw 47-2026, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, and that bylaw 47-2026 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 20th day of August, 2026.
Okay, thank you. Questions? All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. And finally, adjournment. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams. There will be no further business to discuss. The meeting was adjourned at 7 p.m.
Okay. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight for our meeting, and hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you.